private jet descended over Monaco, its golden exterior glinting in the Mediterranean sun. Inside, champagne flowed as billionaires partied with Hollywood stars. But this wasn't just another luxury getaway. It was the opening scene of the greatest financial heist in modern history. $4.5 billion was being systematically stolen from Malaysia's 1MDB development fund. And the world's most sophisticated bankers were about to become willing accomplices. The mastermind, a smooth-talking 30-year-old who understood one fundamental truth: greed makes even the smartest people blind. Meanwhile, in Germany, Wirecard was rewriting the rules of financial success. Their stock price soared as they claimed to process billions in digital payments. But beneath the glossy surface lay a terrifying secret. Their entire business was a digital mirage. CEO Marcus Braun operated like a tech visionary, while secretly building a house of cards that would make Bernie Madoff blush. The company's audacious fraud made them a DAX 30 darling, valued at $28 billion, while having almost no real revenue. The scheme's architect, Joe Low, understood banking psychology better than bankers themselves. He used simple human weaknesses, vanity, ambition, fear of missing out, to compromise entire financial institutions. Goldman Sachs, the world's most prestigious investment bank, became his unwitting pawn. They raised $6.5 billion for 1MDB, collecting $600 million in fees, while ignoring glaring red flags. The vampire squid of Wall Street had finally met its match in a college dropout from Malaysia. The breaking point came when Wirecard's auditor finally asked to see their $2.1 billion in cash, money supposedly held in Asian bank accounts. What followed was a comedy of errors worthy of Hollywood. Fake bank statements, impersonated officials, and even a mysterious death in Singapore. As auditors closed in, Wirecard executives orchestrated an elaborate digital wild goose chase across 3 continents, proving that when a lie becomes too big, even its creators can no longer control it. Back in Malaysia, Joe Low was living like a modern-day Gatsby. He spent $200 million on a super yacht, funded Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street as a twisted inside joke, and showered celebrities with million-dollar jewelry. Each extravagant purchase served dual purposes, fueling his ego while laundering stolen money through the global luxury economy. The 1MDB scandal became more than theft. It was performance art, mocking the entire financial system. Bernie Madoff's ghost watched from prison as these new scammers learned from his mistakes. Where Madoff used simple Ponzi mechanics, the new generation employed digital sophistication. Wirecard created fake transaction records using sophisticated algorithms, while 1MDB exploiters used shell companies in tax havens. The scams had evolved from crude cons to technological masterpieces that fooled regulators, auditors, and intelligence agencies worldwide. The unraveling began with a single whistleblower, Wirecard's internal legal counsel, who discovered that the company's entire business model was fictional. She faced intimidation, threats, and professional suicide, but continued leaking documents to the Financial Times. Meanwhile, in Malaysia, a new prime minister decided to investigate why his country's development fund was financing Hollywood parties and Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar campaign. Goldman Sachs executives initially dismissed concerns as racism. How could Asian bankers possibly outsmart Wall Street's best? This arrogance proved costly, as investigations revealed the bank's compliance department had ignored 400 separate red flags. The same institution that survived the 2008 crisis was brought to its knees by a teenager's understanding of human psychology and the corrupting power of excessive fees. As Wirecard collapsed in June 2020, Marcus Braun was arrested at his luxury Munich apartment. The company that once symbolized Germany's tech future became its biggest corporate scandal. Employees watched in horror as 20 years of success evaporated in 20 minutes of trading, proving that in the digital age, reality eventually catches fiction, no matter how compelling the narrative. The global investigation became the financial equivalent of Avengers Endgame. FBI agents teamed with Malaysian authorities, while German prosecutors shared data with Singaporean regulators. What they uncovered was breathtaking. The scams weren't isolated incidents, but connected through a web of shell companies, complicit bankers, and willfully blind auditors. The financial system's guardians had become its greatest vulnerability. Joe Lowe's escape read like a spy novel. Private jets, fake passports, and diplomatic protection from unknown governments. He became the world's most wanted financial criminal while allegedly hiding in China, protected by stolen billions. His story proved that in today's world, money doesn't just buy luxury, it buys immunity from justice and transforms thieves into untouchable ghosts. The human cost emerged slowly. Malaysian villagers whose schools were never built. German pensioners who lost their life savings. Wirecard employees whose careers were destroyed. Behind every billion-dollar figure were real people whose lives were collateral damage in these games of financial chess. The scams exposed how modern capitalism often rewards illusion over substance. Goldman Sachs settled for $3.9 billion, the largest penalty in Wall Street history, while admitting no wrongdoing. The message was clear. Some institutions are too profitable to fail, even when they enable epic frauds. Meanwhile, small investors who lost everything in Wirecard received nothing, highlighting the two-tier justice system Protecting financial elites. The aftermath revealed an uncomfortable truth. These weren't isolated incidents, but symptoms of a broken system. Banking culture that prioritizes fees over due diligence. Regulatory capture that allows obvious frauds to flourish, and audit firms that value client relationships over truth-telling. The scams succeeded, not because they were sophisticated, but because nobody wanted to look too closely. Whistleblowers faced brutal consequences. Careers ended, reputations destroyed, lives threatened, yet they persisted, driven by moral conviction that the truth mattered more than personal safety. Their courage exposed the rotten core of modern finance and inspired new generations to question authority and demand transparency in systems designed to obscure. The psychological profile of the perfect scammer emerged. Charismatic storytellers who understand that modern finance runs on narratives rather than numbers. They weaponized FOMO, fear of missing out, against sophisticated investors, proving that Ivy League education provides no immunity against basic human emotions when billions are at stake. Regulatory reforms followed, but skeptics wondered if anything had really changed. New compliance rules were implemented, but the underlying incentives remained unaddressed. The fundamental truth persisted. As long as astronomical profits await those who ask few questions, the next billion-dollar scam is already being designed in plain sight. The legacy of these scandals extends beyond finance. They've eroded public trust in institutions, fueled populist movements, and created generations skeptical of traditional success stories. When billion-dollar companies can be complete fictions and national development funds become personal piggy banks, what reality can anyone trust? Today, the characters face different fates. Some in prison, others in exile. Many continuing careers as if nothing happened. But their stories serve as permanent warnings about the seductive power of easy money and the danger of believing narratives that seem too good to be true in a world where they usually are. The ultimate lesson isn't about finance. It's about human nature. These scams succeeded because they understood our deepest desires: to believe in genius, to chase extraordinary returns, to be part of exclusive success stories. The billion-dollar scams didn't just fool the world's smartest bankers. They revealed that intelligence is no match for wisdom, and that the most dangerous blind spot is the one we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves. They stole billions, but the real theft was our trust in the system itself. The most valuable currency isn't money. It's the belief that someone is actually watching. If this story made you question who's really guarding the vault, subscribe to Reality Decoded, because next time we expose an even bigger secret hiding in plain sight. This is Reality Decoded, the truth doesn't need $1 billion. It just needs to be heard. The end.